man.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a little overwhelmed and feeling about the oldest I've ever felt in my life doing this in VR. I never would have imagined that something could be more nerve-wracking than presenting in person, but we've we've kind of managed that. Although this is cool too, and a big thank you to Roland for always making it happen. It's really amazing uh, how he manages to make it work year after year. It's never easy. It's never easy operating in the Steam Hive community. I think we've all learned that, but that makes us all more resilient. I think, right? It's all this adversity has spawned so much innovation. Agro just presented the stuff that he's doing with Hive Engine is awesome. One of the things that I regret up until this point is that we haven't gotten to highlight how influential Agrode's projects, both Splinterlands and Hive Engine, have been to us when we were working on Koinos. Um, what they demonstrated with Hive Engine is the value of upgradability, the value of being able to rapidly make changes. And they were able to explore so many use cases and are still able to explore so many use cases and unearth these use cases. And it really demonstrates the value of that. And Agrode is a friend of mine. I consider him an advisor, and his advice over the years, both directly and through his products, have been invaluable when we've been thinking about and architecting Koinos. So much thanks to Agrode and the team over at Splinterlands and Hive Engine. The biggest uh, innovation that led to huge philosophical insights that are at the core of Koinos that I credit pretty much entirely to Agrode is they showed that ownership of data is not the same as the data itself. Right? You have your Splinterlands cards. They are stored on the Hive blockchain, but all the data connected to the game, the powers of the game that's connected to those tokens doesn't live on Hive, and yet you still own those accounts and those assets, and that was a huge insight. So now I'm going to talk about Koinos and why Koinos. Well, it's going to be the world's first general purpose blockchain with free token transfers, free account creation, and free smart contract execution. And it was really those three things that were our North Stars. We wanted to lower the barriers to entry as much as possible. And those were the three biggest blockers that we found that we believe to be blocking adoption of blockchain. Now, of course, we started by thinking, we used to work on Steam, and we started by thinking, okay, well, presumably we should launch another social blockchain. But as we started looking at the existing platforms and evaluating them, whether they'd meet our needs, mainly being able to build a social blockchain that can scale to the masses. Remember, this is when Steam was being attacked by Tron. So Hive didn't exist. And so two things happened at the same time. One is that Hive started to exist, which was awesome. The community stepped up, took control over the blockchain, and has continued to improve it and maintain it, and that's awesome. And then at the same time, we started looking at graphene, which is the underlying framework that we're arguably the most expert team in the world at using. We looked at EOS and we looked at Ethereum. We'd obviously been looking at these platforms for years as professionals in the space. But Hive is taking off. We're looking at the platforms and we're thinking these won't meet our needs. These won't scale as much as people are saying they will, and they have these architectural issues that we really need to fix. So we need to go lower level. We need to go to the platform level. But anyway, what really matters, the thing I want to highlight the most, though, is the team, which was the slide that was up. This is really what sets us apart. At the end of the day, we want to build tools that add tremendous value to developers. And if 3 months from now, 6 months from now, it looks like there's a better way for us to do that, then we will pivot in that direction. That's really what motivates us. And we just happen to believe very much that the solutions we've now decided on are what developers really, really need. But ultimately, it comes down to the team and our ability to execute on this. And this is, I think, our actual unique value proposition. These are the most experienced blockchain developers in the world. Michael Vandenberg was the senior blockchain developer at Steemit. He grew up learning about graphene. You know, like this was his professional life is graphene. Obviously theoretical, one of the co-creators of delegated proof of stake, one of the architects of the graphene blockchain, launched the Steem blockchain. Nathan and Theo have been working together for years. Theo and Michael worked together on resource credits on Hive. Steve was onboarded by Michael, and he was pivotal in getting smart media tokens to testnet. And then Ron is our head of design, and he's key because we believe that our product should also be beautiful and fun to use. So if you've used our GUI miner, you've seen Ron's work. Just because you're a technical user doesn't mean that things should be ugly or unintuitive, precisely the opposite. So we've got an amazing team who's been in the space for a really long time, who's proved their dedication, who's super passionate, and all these people are co-founders. So we have tremendous skin in the game. We did an ICO. We did a proof of work mining, one of the few general purpose blockchains to launch with only proof of work. We haven't raised any outside capital because we want our customer to be developers. Developers who are trying to delight their end users. That's who we're targeting with Koinos. So now the next slide, let's move to the next slide. It's Hive. This is HiveFest. I figure let's talk about Koinos through the lens of Hive. One of the most common mistakes we see is people thinking that Koinos is somehow a competitor to Hive. Hive is a decentralized application. And by the way, I'm going to try to burn through these so that I can open it up to questions. That's my general approach. Like, let's get to the questions. I'll try to hit the main points. Hive is a decentralized application that happens to be mated to a blockchain. And it's because it's mated to a blockchain that makes it very difficult to upgrade. Koinos is a smart contracts platform that enables you to launch decentralized applications on top of an existing decentralized network and blockchain so that you don't have to worry about all that blockchain stuff. So the short version is that Hive could be emulated on Koinos. It could be moved to Koinos. And the benefit of doing that is that you would be able to upgrade it without hard forks, and you would gain from our scalability solutions, and you would gain the ability to use custom smart contracts on a first layer. Which segues nicely into the next slide, which would be Hive Engine, which is another good lens to look at this through. Hive Engine has smart contracts. Koinos has smart contracts. What's the difference? Is Koinos a competitor to Hive Engine? Once again, I do not see it that way. And bear in mind, Hive Engine has been evolving and changing so fast that maybe I'm a little behind the times. But for the most part, Hive Engine is a second layer solution that has been trying to decentralize for a long time. Again, all of the features of Hive Engine, or some of them, however they want to do it, can be emulated on Koinos. And so Koinos can be used to enhance the existing feature sets of Hive Engine and give it access to smart contracts on a decentralized network. And we're very, very open and excited to work with any and all developers who are considering Koinos integration and helping to make sure that they have the API, the client libraries, everything that they need to take advantage of Koinos, which is still relatively in early development. We're making good progress towards testnet, which I believe we announced would be ready in Q1 of 2021. But we're making good progress on testnet. And then obviously then we'll be working towards mainnet. Yes, this slide. Koinos is designed differently than any other general purpose blockchain in existence. What we've done is we've essentially pushed the absolute limits of what smart contracts can be used to do. When we think about smart contracts, we tend to think about these small bits of code that developers are running on existing blockchains to move tokens between accounts for their application, for their small application. Smart contracts can actually do far more. And that's what we're proving with Koinos, which moves all of the business logic, all of the characteristics and features that you typically think of as being associated with a blockchain. We move those into smart contracts that are running in the virtual machine. So this is all on the first layer. This is a first layer product, but a product that relies on smart contracts for all of the complex behaviors that you're looking for. And this is what gives us the ability to improve at an extremely rapid rate, because smart contracts on Koinos can all be upgraded in band, which means without a hard fork. So our objective is to have, so the testnet will have very few features. Our objective between the launch of testnet and the launch of mainnet is to write the smart contracts that code for all the behaviors, a consensus smart contract, a resource management smart contract, an account smart contract. And so we can release these piecemeal as we approach mainnet. Our objective isn't necessarily to release a mainnet that is better than EOS. For example, maybe it's not faster than EOS. We will deliver it with all those free features, free transfers, free accounts, free smart contracts, but maybe it's not as fast. But that's okay, because our objective is to ensure that we have the blockchain that is capable of improving at the most rapid rate in the space. So our goal is to launch very good and then quickly get better and better and better. And the key to that is our ability to add features to the blockchain without requiring a hard fork. And that's really the one of the core innovations at Koinos. I think it's the most important innovation if you're trying to wrap your head around what makes Koinos special. We pride ourselves on being developer obsessed. This is a core value of the company. And what that means is that all developer feedback, positive or negative, is invaluable. It is priceless. So if you're a developer who wants to give your input into Koinos, who wants to see certain client libraries, who wants to see, even if you have opinions on the business logic itself, because it's all being done through smart contracts, we can take your feedback all throughout the development process. We don't have to design the entire system beforehand and then give it to you and say, take it or leave it. We can integrate feedback in real time. And so that's why developer feedback is so important. So please, please do not hesitate to reach out. If you're a developer, we will bend over backwards to listen to you and to integrate your feedback. And if we don't, you should scream from the rafters that we're liars and we don't really care about developers and we suck and we're a shitcoin. And if you want to learn more, go to koinos.io, as that last slide says. And I don't know if I have time. I've lost all concept of time within this alternate reality we inhabit.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens in the virtual reality. But then so sometimes when I was working on these worlds, then on all these HiveFest worlds, then I put up my glasses when it's sunny, sun is shining, kids running around me, and then when I put them off, it's dark and raining. So that's what happens. Yes, we have time for one question, and I can ask you guys if you raise your hand and then click the raise hand icon if you have a question. First one to go is can ask the question. If there's no questions for now, I really want to thank you, Andrarchy, for making the way all the way from the US of A in the big app.
Oh, Uniswap. Uniswap. Yeah.
So many icons. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot. Andrarchy, there are no questions at the moment. Thank you so much. Good luck with the development of Koinos, and looking forward to the